Okay, my bear doesn't impress you and you don't want to join my guild. How about I take you on a tour of Lion's Arch? Coming up today in the Geekasaurus, we check out Lion's Arch and more! Hello and welcome to the Geekasaurus, and today we're going to check out Lion's Arch in a lot more detail than my previous video, which is only showing the Asura gates, which I'm showing you here now. Making sequels to games or movies is always a little bit tricky. It's how much do you bring in from the original? Games like Mass Effect, you got to play on the Normandy again and again and again. In this game, they brought back a little bit of stuff. You'll see it from time to time. If you're a big, huge Guild Wars 1 fan, there's stuff you will see that's sort of like, I remember that. That's kind of cool. But the biggest one I could find so far was Lion's Arch. It's in both games, of course, and you will be able to see some stuff underwater that I'll show you in a little while. And I'll, on the screen, show a split where you'll see what the original one looked like and what they've done to it now. If you did not play the original Guild Wars 1, that's just okie dokie, because I will talk about Lion's Arch 1 and Lion's Arch 2. We'll call this New Lion's Arch.
Goodbye.
Okay, so this first area next to the Asura gates, there's lots of vendors, and they appear to be like very high-level vendors for different types of currency I haven't even seen in the game. This guy here, he is a repair guy. You'll see them all over the place. They have like a broken shield floating above their head, and that means you can repair at them. They will be able to repair all of your armor. Fairly inexpensive. It's not that big of a deal. I love this bridge. This is the main bridge coming out of the Asura gate area. You find this first. If you're going to get to Lion's Arch, the easiest way is to go through the Borderlands in WVW. You can just quickly go to the Borderlands, and in each Borderland there's a Asura gate to go to Lion's Arch. So this is where you kind of come from first when you get there. Great artwork. I love the marine feel to it. As you see the seahorses here on the bridge. Quite lovely. Now we come to the first major monument of the new Lion's Arch is the Lion Fountain. It has some ships spinning around in it and a bunch of seahorses shooting up water. Now at this point my video card froze up and I restarted, but I didn't realize I didn't get the rest of that. So that's for you guys to see when you get in there. Okay, this is your account vault. Yay! This is a look at the bank, and there's banks in every major city you go to, so it's not that hard to find. You can expand this vault, I believe, through the money store with gems. You can make it bigger and put more and more stuff in it. You will notice up at the top each one has a search feature. Now the original Guild Wars 1 had a really cool feature in your bank. It was called the Zunali chest, and you could just drag and drop your crafting materials into it and it sorted it out for you, and it's almost unlimited. I believe it could hold 250 stacks of something. If you look at this one, it's massive. You might have to go back and watch it again, but I'll see if I open it up again here. I don't? Okay. Anyway, it is massive. It's a massive crafting bank, and that's just awesome because that's the one thing that was always a problem in other MMOs that I've played. Getting any kind of crafting material always filled up your main bank, and you're like, oh, should I throw away this stack of linen, or should I put my new armor piece I found in there? Okay, coming up here, this is something you may or may not have seen. This is called the Mystic Forge, and this is where you're going to make your awesome uber gear. Okay, this right now is kind of like a discovery pane. You're going to put different items into the forge and forge them, and you get things called mystic coins or mystic dust, and they mix with other materials to make your items. If you get mystic dust, I believe that is only for PvP items. If you get the mystic coin, that is for PvE items. I could be completely wrong about this. Just know that you're going to get some little cool baubles and you mix them together in the Mystic Forge to make your tier 1 set, tier 2 set. They don't have sets like that in this game per se, but I'm just using that as an example to show you that you're going to have different ways to make your really awesome gear. So something happened in Lion's Arch where it went from being sort of a port town into being just completely nautical, as you see by the wheels that they put up and around. And all around the area there are ships that sort of got stuck on the rocks that turned into inns and keeps and other strange things. This here is one of the original Lion's Arch areas, and it's turned into an archaeology site, which I think is kind of neat, going back in time 250 years to when this was Okay, inset on the right side you will see the original Guild Wars 1, and this is the area I think this building is from. I'm not 100% sure, but just the way it was set into the rocks there is sort of how this one is set into the rocks, so not quite sure. There's no... Right now I couldn't find any kind of map showing this is where this piece is, this is where this piece is, so I'm kind of guessing, but that's what I'm guessing at. So this is the original Lion's Arch in the lower right, and I will show you some more as we get going. Especially the underwater portion. I do know for sure where the fountain is, so we will show you the fountain as we get there. In this area you'll find some people to talk to that will explain it a lot better to you, so I didn't do that. I was in a bit of a hurry. Alright, let's move outside of town. We're heading to an area where I believe the old keep was on the hill. I'll show you that on the right side. This keep is sort of precariously perched on a hillside. Not that one there. Let's see. That one right there. That's the one we're looking at, I think. So I'm heading out of town right now, and I'm going to go to the diving board, which a Vista is located. If you didn't get to see my Vista video, Vistas are little points they put on the map that kind of show off the artwork in a way, and it gives you an achievement when you unlock all the Vistas in a particular area. You cannot get 100% map completion achievement for an area unless you have finished all of the Vistas. Now this one's kind of cool because this Vista is set right next to a fun little thing I'm going to show you, which is a diving board.
That reminds me.
While running up here, I want you to note the NPCs are talking to each other. Now you won't be able to hear it because I'm talking over them, but if you stand in a particular area for long enough, you will hear them chatting. And it's kind of nice because it adds to an ambience in an area. Instead of just hearing NPCs barking out the same thing over and over again, they sort of talk back and forth about things that are going on in their lives, like, their rent's due and they have to pick up groceries tomorrow and things like that. Fun stuff. Okay, so now we've made it up to the top where the diving board's at, and the Vista is on the left. If you look at my mini map, you'll see two triangles or pyramids, however you want to look at them, and that's where the Vista is. So right there was the map. You'll see it in a second. And here's a waypoint. The reason the waypoint's here because you do the diving, you have to run all the way back up, and it's a pain. So just clicking on the waypoint will bring you right back up. Okay, so this is a cool feature of this diving board. You can enable these glasses, which unlock 2 skills. You can't use the skills until you're mid-air on your way down from the diving board. So you can try to pull off some really cool feats. And boy, I look sexy in these glasses. Rawr. Anyway, so once you jump off the diving board, you click one of the 2 skills, and hopefully you can pull off some really cool feats mid-air. Alright, let's go ahead and give this a shot. Alright, here we go. And falling and falling and trying to pull off some cool maneuver and falling in the water. That was pretty pitiful. Alright, we will try that one more time and see how it goes. So down here, all you have to do is open up your map and double click your waypoint, and poof, back up top. I believe it's a free waypoint too. And while we're up here, I say, hey, there's a Vista map. So let's go ahead and get to it. So most Vistas are really, really easy to get to. Usually you can just walk right up to them. Some require some kind of jumping puzzle, and this one required me to pay attention to the fact that I couldn't get to it unless I was up high. So we're going to run back up the ladder again and try it from a high platform. It should be fairly easy. Just jump off and hit the rocks. Just don't miss, otherwise you will die. Okay, so we're going to show you what a Vista looks like. If you haven't seen my Vista video, here we go. All it is a scroll around the area, like a pan. They pan the camera in different directions so you can see some of the cool artwork that you would normally probably not pay attention to all that much. And the underwater is just absolutely beautiful. I even did a video just about swimming in underwater. So we're going to go underwater in just a moment, and I'm going to show you the other parts of Lion's Arch that are now underwater. I think it was some kind of great big earthquake or something that tore the whole place up, and I'm sorry, I'm not... One thing you'll learn about me is I love stories and everything, but I just don't get into lore. I can't get into much lore. So I learn as much as I can to get by, but don't expect me... Oh, there we go. That was nice. That little spin was really cool. Okay, so once you're underwater, you get your harpoon gun or whatever it is your class would carry as an underwater weapon. So I have Pooh, and Pooh's an okay bear. He can swim around underwater, but look at that, a juvenile jellyfish. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and I talked about it in my pet video the other day. So all you do is you click on it, you open up your pet management window, you select it, and then you go, hold on, I gotta figure out how to do this right. Here it goes. No, it's not there. It's not there. That's clawing the bear. No, don't close the pet management window. You know, in my pet management video I said how easy it was. It really is easy. I apologize. I'm fumbling around with these controls. But there we go. Now you click on it. What it is I've moved the pet management window right over the tame. So you click on that. There we go. That's how easy it is. You don't have to like set up a trap. Remember in World of Warcraft you had to set a trap up and freeze it, otherwise it would rip your face off while you're trying to tame a pet that's the same level as you. This one you tame it and it instantly becomes the level you are, so don't have to worry about leveling it up or any of that stuff either. So this is an underwater only pet. Obviously jellyfish would not fare too well out on land. And I'm going to give him a name. Cute name like Stingy. Alright, so let's get back on with our underwater portion of Lion's Arch. You can see there's some salmon and things swimming around down here. You can kill them and use them for food. I believe they're in some recipes. At this point, I really feel like I'm in a big fish tank because it looks like, you know, when you buy a fish tank and you have those portions of little plastic pieces you put in, and yeah, that's exactly what this sort of feels like. Okay, and now while I was down here, I noticed, hey, there's a vista underwater. Yes, there is, and we will get to that, and that's going to show us the fountain. And the fountain is sort of the main part of Guild Wars 1 Lion Arch. The original Lion's Arch was the fountain, kind of a main meeting place. If you said, hey, I'm going to Lion's Arch, where do you want to meet? Everyone most of the time would say at the fountain or at the chest. So let's watch the vista for the fountain area. Alright, that was the fountain area, so let's go ahead and show you in Guild Wars 1 what that looked like. Here we are running down the steps from the Vista clip, and now we're coming up to the fountain. I'm going to show you this underwater in just a minute. Kind of cool. In a way, you almost wish you could fly in these games, and because you can't, being able to swim around them underwater is really cool. So here we go. We're coming up to the fountain. There's the steps. I'm going to spend a little bit of time exploring this so you can see it a little better. Why am I not drowning? If you don't know much about the underwater thing, you get a rebreather mask that you can enable right when you go underwater. You actually don't have to put it on. So here we are. This is the old fountain. And there's the steps I ran down just a second ago. And there's our friend, Mr. Char, trying to get some fish. So really quite pretty. I love the way it's been built up. The only thing is it's only been 250 years, and there's quite a bit of heavy-duty coral in some of these areas, and it would take a lot longer than that to build some of these massive coral structures. But hey, it's fantasy, so we can pretend that they have faster coral than we do here on Earth. It's Tyria, after all. I'm going to shut up for a moment, let you enjoy the underwater area. Okay, here we've come to sort of a wall underwater, but it's not visible. So I sort of bump into it, and then we have to end the video because they do one really cool feature in Guild Wars 2, which is sort of slipstreaming the updates to the server. So unlike having to take the server down for 12 hours to do an update, they do it while you're playing, and then all you do is log out and log back in. So here we see in the yellow text, new build available, the game will restart in 3 minutes. That's it, it's just a restart. And while you're restarting it, you download the latest patch. So I guess if you have a really slow internet connection, it might take you out of the patch. Look at that, found Mr. Humpback Whale. So that about wraps it up for our little tour of Lion's Arch. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's kind of a trip for nostalgia for some, and for others it's brand new, so kind of cool. Make sure you check out everything in Lion's Arch. This was only a little bit of an overview, so there's a lot more to see. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. Please subscribe. Hey, there's the old lighthouse. I'll show you a clip of that real quick. And until next time, I will say, see ya!